one of the things that we want to talk about, Moody's going to drive home, is that you can do almost everything perfect on the merchandising side. You can price your car right, you can make sure that you have the right cars in the lot, it can be looking pretty with a great description on there, and your car still sits on the lot. Somebody tell me why that is. Or you can't close a spring-loaded porta potty, right? So, and what I mean by that, please don't take offense to that, is you will find, as you'll see, is you can get 15 to 20 leads sitting on the car's still sitting there. You did everything right here. We got to go close the deal. One of the things I love about VINCUE is the ability to manage by activity like no other platform out there. You're going to see how many leads you have, how many leads you've had since your last price change, and then how many customers you have interested in similar vehicles. And so Moody's going to talk a lot about that, because the sales process is a big part of being successful. And so one of the things we try to focus on is what do we have inside of VINCUE that will actually help you close a deal. And so you're going to see this with what Moody presents now. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Looks like we took a picture of me before I got in the new arm. High school photo. So today we're going to talk about the ACE report. Tomorrow you're going to hear Brian and Kai will talk about ACE report and the service trend. Today I'm going to talk about selling vehicles. We heard Jason earlier going over the CRM leads by model report for new cars. I'm going to go over that for used cars. We're also going to look over reconnecting with past opportunities, leveraging our Reengage tool. But before we do all that, we're talking about some powerful tools to optimize inventory. So it's going to be important to look at how do we measure the return on investment. So here we can see 3 boxes: inventory turn, average inventory age, and days to sell. Can anyone tell me what's the most important number out there? Which one's the most important? Who said that? What's your name, sir? Eric? Eric. See me after the show, I will give you a bozo cookie. Inventory turn, everyone wants to see a bigger number there, right? More return on inventory per year, the better. But that number there is just reflective of your current inventory age. So if you sell out of your inventory today at 32 days old, that's an 11.4 turn, right? But what I really care about, how many days did it take me to sell my inventory in the last 30 days? That's what really matters. I can also see month to month, the last 4 months, how long it took me to sell my inventory. So that's where I can look to see how I'm trending. Am I getting better? Am I getting worse? Another place that's important to look, how many vehicles of all of your used inventory have surpassed that ideal age threshold that you send in the bank? Every good manager knows what's in that bucket, right? When I have 10 service loaders in there that are 1,000 days old, that bucket is going to impact your days to sell that we were just looking at. Nobody here is in the business of collecting cars, right? Who here knows what Reengage is? Anyone seen it before? Yeah. Do you use it?
I do.
Yeah? How do you use it?
The message to customers when you get a car that's got people that you can re-engage with, get your car in, shows you, you have 134 potential opportunities on this particular car.
Yep.
You go through and you message those customers. It also helps me pinpoint which customers from the salespeople we can reach out to via phone, email, and text.
Awesome. Thank you. So this is one place we can use Reengage. Like I said, none of us are in the business of collecting cars. We spend a lot of money to advertise our vehicles. It costs us a lot of money to have a vehicle on the lot, right? Anybody here know their cost of sale or their average cost of sale at the dealership? It's kind of a hard number to pinpoint. Do you? Care to share with us? 44,000. Your average cost of sale?
My average cost of sale, to me, my average cost of sale is the average deal, not sale price.
Okay.
Ours is 20. 24.5.
24.5? Okay. So usually, it's hard to pinpoint that number, right? A lot of moving factors for it. How do you lower that number?
Cheaper.
Cost of sale. How much it costs you to get a customer in your store to buy a vehicle from you?
So you're not talking about the cost of selling per unit.
No, not your average investment. Yeah, does anyone know that? How much?
Advertisements, lawsuit, federal.
Very close, very close. NADA says that the average franchise dealer spends $700 to get a customer in their store to buy it. $700. So it's costing you, on average, $700 to get someone to walk into your store and buy a vehicle. The only way to lower that is to close more of your leads, increase the percentages of customers that actually connect with you when you reach out to them, right? Customers that connect with you to increase the percentage of people that book an appointment to come in, or increase the percentage of people that actually show up when they book an appointment, or the people that buy a car when they book an appointment and come in. Reengage can help you do that. As that gentleman back there said, we're going to take every lead that you have in our system and put it next to a similar vehicle that they were interested in. And with a click of a button, you can send them a message that says, hey, that vehicle you were interested in, we sold it, but we have a similar unit in stock. Here's a link to the website. When can you come in? Why wouldn't I want to do that, right? You could be looking at your aged inventory, pick a unit, try to dive a little bit deeper into it. Instead of just dropping the price, maybe send a few re-engagements. Let's dig into them. We'll click on the Honda CRV. If you click on it, and you click on Opportunities Re-engage, you'll see those same leads that we saw on the last screen. And you'll know if one was sent, because that green Re-engage button will actually say sent back. How about an appraisal? If I can get this a little quicker. That little red guy right there under the appraisal box, if you click on it, it'll show you all the customers that were interested in a similar vehicle to that trade-in appraisal you're doing right now. Anyone ever seen that before? Why would it be important to see that while you're doing an appraisal?
Because it might condition put more money in that vehicle to get it. Or trade for it, so you can have good opportunities.
Maybe, yeah. Someone else that was presenting mentioned something too. Instead of taking this car on trade and burying it in the back, waiting to get it ready, I might rush it a little bit, right? While the salesperson and the customer are going back and forth, I might call that customer. I might see a customer in there that couldn't get an approval on 2022. Car didn't book out right. Bank didn't approve them. Monthly payment was too high. Why wouldn't I want to know that information? How about this screen? Have you seen this one before? Anyone? Right under My Dealership, if you go all the way to the bottom there on that drop down, it says Reengage. So picture you just went through 200 used vehicles in stock, and you identified about 100 vehicles that haven't had a price drop in 7 days. So you go through all those vehicles and you slash $25,000 to $50,000 in prices. You can come right here, and every lead that came in on the exact vehicle you just kind of price on is going to be sitting there. You can send a button that's a different message that says, hey, that vehicle you were interested in, we just dropped the price on it. Here's the VDP, when can you come in? You can also use Reengage to see if it's being used. If you decide to incorporate this in your process, if you have managers doing it or a salesperson that you put in charge of it, you can come in here and look and see if they're sending them or not. So earlier we saw Jason go through the CRM leads by model for new vehicles. And maybe when you're ordering new cars, what to order. I'm pulling it up so we can look at our used inventory. So I pull it up and I got it organized by VDP views. Right off the bat, I'm looking and I see that the Toyota Tundra has 14,300 views, but only 218 leads. Kind of a low transaction rate. I can see that the RAV4 has 8,900 views and almost 700 leads. Huge discrepancy there. Look at the Tundras, even worse. 13,000 VDP views and 89 leads. Can anyone tell me why, if someone was interested in the vehicle enough to click on it, it would not have converted to a lead? What reasons would that be?
They're dreaming, right? Should be a merchant.
Dreaming? Merchandising? Like what?
Photos, description, price.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, and that's something you could identify right here. We could dig a little bit deeper. Let's look at the Tundra. So I clicked on the Toyota Tundra because that seems to be the worst conversion rate at 0.7%. When I click on it, I can see that the 2025 gave me the lion's share of VDP views, and I got 59 leads on those. So I'm going to click on those. Now I can see every single lead that came in to VINCUE on the 2025 Tundras. Looking from the left to the right, I can see the customer's information, the lead source, the status of the lead, and the salesperson's name. There's a lot of stuff you can identify here, right? There could be one salesperson that's closing a lot of these Tundras, and the other salespeople aren't. Maybe the others need to be trained better. That could be another issue. This is a report that I'm in and out of all day long. I'm going to this report, then I'm going to my inventory, and I'm going to look at the merchandising that you mentioned. The first thing I'm going to look at, this little green icon right here. Do I have a description? I can hover over that and see how many characters are in there. I might dive into one of them and see, am I using the template? That automatically generates a description based off my build sheet, based off my flybys. Is there any added options on the MSRP I should have in there? Next, I can look at how many photos do I have right next to me. We all know that merchandising is important. More photos, the better chance I have to sell them. Am I priced outside of the market? Is that why it's not converted? And finally, I can see all the leads that we were just talking about, the VDP views. So now I've come in here, I've identified some issues, possibly merchandising issues, I fixed them. While I'm here, I might click on this little red guy and re-engage with those 38 people. How many times have you seen your aged inventory? You really want to do something about it, right? So you go to your inventory view, you look at it, you're trying to figure out what's wrong, and all that you're left to do is slash the price, because you don't know what else to do. You can still do that here, but it gives you an opportunity to do something about it right now by re-engaging with these customers.
Where do those replies go to?
Sorry?
Reengage. Where, if the customer's reply, is that an email or where does the reply go to?
So Reengage is a one-time outbound email. And so the best practice is that's a customizable message that you're sending to the customer, put your number in it.
Yeah, and also you're sending a link to the vehicle. They're going to open it, they can respond from there as well. Right? You can send a brand new email if they want to, or call. So I got a chance to talk to a gentleman while we were out in the big room on one of the round tables. Really sharp operator, I could tell he knew exactly what he was doing. Not going to mention any names, not going to mention the dealership. It was Bill Schofield. It was Bill from Schofield. Anyway, I'm talking to him about it, he said, I don't use ACE. And I asked him about his process. Rock solid process. Look to book was in the mid-60s. I was shocked. I understood why he wouldn't use ACE. He's got such a good process and he really likes it. So I asked him to dig into his process a little bit. And he was more so talking about service driver buying vehicles, not trading. So he told me that he does a thorough walk around. He has the customer and the salesperson do a thorough walk around. He had a report, the salesperson filled out the report. They brought it back to the manager. The manager went out later on with their, the manager would go back out later with the mobile app and scan the vehicle, come back in, do the appraisal. put together a package to get the salesperson to go back. The salesperson was trained well enough to sit down and discuss this, whatever the findings were with the customer. So it wasn't just, here's your number. And I was thinking about it, like, yeah, I wouldn't change anything if I looked at like 64%. But everything he was telling me is what ACE was geared to do. So if you're not doing that yet, this is something that can help you do that. Whether you're buying a car or selling a car. In this case, we're talking about selling a car. So let's take a look at where you can access ACE. This is an inventory record on a 2018 GMC Terrain. Right under opportunities, you're going to see CRM leads if you have them sitting in there. If you have a customer sitting in your showroom that just walked in, you can click add customer right here to open up an ACE. If you want to come back to an inventory record for a 71-day-old car, and you have leads sitting in there that aren't responsive anymore, you can set up an ACE report. You can email it to them by clicking start over there. Once you click add customer or start ACE from over there, it's going to open up this little widget. Hop over right over the inventory record. So in this case, we are selling the car, so we'll click that. First thing you're going to see is the market data. VINCUE set up in the back end to auto pick a book value that looks good, based on the selling price of your vehicle. If you want to change it, you can. You can hide a book value, change it from rough, average, or clean. Take one of them off if you like. You can also show recently sold vehicles in your market that make your selling price look a little bit more attractive. If you want to uncheck one of those, you can. Next, we look at value reinforcements. So I believe it was Jason who talked about it. Why buys? A lot of people offer why buys, like lifetime warranty or free car wash or free oil change. Whatever it is that you add, we can add that in the back end and put it in that little drop down right over here. You can add that to this ACE report. And then finally, instead of just vehicles that are recently sold, we can add vehicles that are actually for sale in the market right now to make your car look a little more attractive. And that's it. All you have to do now is review this report. You can print it, you can text it, or you can email it to your client. Now, when the salesperson goes to the customer, it's not just a 4 square or a 6 square or a 9 square. They have a story to tell them about the car you're selling, right? Why is it worth what it's worth? What are we offering that other dealers don't offer? It's not just, here's the number. I mean, by the time you give the salesperson the 4 square, you can't even get up to go get a cup of coffee before they're coming back to negotiate with you, right? Unless they're trained well, the salespeople, to sit down and talk about all the things that are in here. So this is just giving your salesperson a story to tell.
Is there a reconditioning to teach that?
So there is reconditioning. If you want to add that, you can use it for this or when you're buying a vehicle from the customer. I guess when you're buying the vehicle from the customer, it would be more so, hey, this is how much we have to put in recon in your car. But if you want to add how much recon you put into this car, you can do that. There's also dealer advertising costs and dealer overhead you can add there if you want. Something you can talk to the customer about. Good question. This is the buyer performance report. It's the same place where you tap on this trades. So if you put a process in place where you want to start using the ACE report, you can land on this page, and you can see right there how many of your missed appraisals have ACE, has an ACE been initiated. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can actually see a percentage of missed appraisals that have had an ACE sent. You can also click on these one by one and send an ACE out if you tap the missed appraisals. Seems like a moot point because we just discussed how we're refreshing ACE in the big room, but it's the same practice that we're trying to accomplish here. Thank you all.